Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Pisces. If Pisces is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. I can already tell I'm feeling a little bit silly today. All right, here we go. So, Pisces, we have the Queen of Swords. And I love this queen because she is all about revealing. If you can see in the card, she's holding the mask or the head, okay? She is one that sees right through anybody's BS, period. You know, like you're not getting anything past the Queen of Swords. All right, and we're gonna lift this up and see what these tea leaves have to say and how they're going to interact with that Queen of Swords energy. And I also just want to say thank you so much for choosing to click on this video. You maybe have never seen a tea leaf reading before. So basically, we're just going to look through this bowl, look through all of these tea leaves, and look for little symbols. Like you can see right in the middle, we have an L, right? You can just see an L. We have an H over here. We have the number 3111. One, actually. 4 ones right there. So you can see how easy it is, but there are more detailed images in here as well. And we're gonna go look at those. And if you're returning to the channel, oh, look at this. We also have, it looks like 3333. So 4 3s. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. Thank you for coming and watching another reading. I hope this one speaks to you. And I appreciate you. Just super appreciate you sharing your time. All right, so we do have the rooster down here, and you can see making a lot of noise. Now let's look at it closely. We have the body, we have the little wings, we have the tail. You can even see the little leg and kind of standing on the mound here, the head turned this way. But we also have these kind of little sounds going off like an alarm, a cock-a-doodle-doo alarm, right? Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's also with this number 3 right here. So there is something going on that I think it's taken you by surprise. You know, I don't think you were so detached from your own little reality that you completely missed that anything was happening. But I think that probably like you found some kind of evidence of something. Somebody just like told you straight up, right? They came and they confessed, or they, a friend told you, oh, I saw so-and-so and, whatever. Something happened that really confirmed that, yeah, things are not completely imbalanced. Now, I don't know yet, I might not know at all what happened, but I feel like this is something that is pretty life-altering for you. It's not just a little thing, but I also think that this is something that is necessary. It's kind of like you're at that point where you just got to pull the Band-Aid off, right? You don't want to, it's going to hurt a little bit, but it has to happen. So I feel like this is kind of maybe, the divine, the universe, that all-knowing thing coming through and letting us know, come on, let's get on this. It's time. It's time to close one door so that another can open. And with that Queen of Swords energy, I really feel like this is a revealing of somebody's character. Now, immediately we think of things like cheating, maybe financial abuse or financial, misleading, right? I'm trying to think how are we just lying about money, right? Where did it go? What's it being spent on? That kind of thing. Or just, I guess, just lying in general, right? About who knows. Now, maybe you're dating somebody. Maybe this is like your children, adult children. Maybe this is your spouse. Maybe this is a family member. Maybe this is a good friend. But it's somebody close to you. And it feels, these kinds of things, they feel heartbreaking. No matter how you shake it. So we have the boat down here. We have a person on a boat. You can see here's the person. The head, the body, little arm. This is the boat. Here's the sail. So I do see you really not sticking around. You're not going to stay in this dynamic that's not working for you. That's actually working against you. And we also have the number, so I don't forget, we have the number 44 up here, 44. And when we see the boat, especially if somebody's in it or on it or sitting or swimming next to it or whatever, we know that means that there is movement. It's not unlike getting on a horse or getting in the car, getting on that sailboat. But the boat really is interesting because it really is symbolic of navigating that unconscious space as well. This isn't just like I'm running away from things. This is like I am intentionally having this moment in my life, this thing, just almost maybe a tower moment, right? And I'm not just going to, run away from it, ignore it, make excuses, try to rationalize. No, I am intentionally not only just finding the boat, like you're out there like carving the dang thing with it, like you're going through the process. You are getting your map ready. You're getting your things all packed up for your next big adventure. You're getting on that boat, pushing off into the unknown. But you are fully engaged in this thing. You are clear-minded. You are paying attention. You're present. You're not just like hoping for the best outcome. You're not just like, I'm done. I don't care what happens. Somebody else take the wheel. No, this is you saying enough. Things have been weird for a while. I'm coming to the realization about whatever's going on. And this is not something that I can live with. This has hit a boundary for you. And so we are, setting sail towards the next thing. Now, I feel like whatever, and I tend to believe that this maybe is a relationship or maybe like a family dynamic that has kind of isolated you from some people in your life. It may be that you have been really trying to, heal the family, figure things out. And that's like all your free time is going to taking care of other people and trying to get everybody on the same page and get things working. Well, now that you've made this decision that this is not it for me. Now I got to figure out how is this going to look post, rearrangement, basically. And I see we have two people sitting here communing. But if you can see right here, one here, and they're talking right there. But if you also look at it this way, and I'm going to kind of just go ahead and cover this so you can see. We have a face right here. Here's the eye, the nose, the mouth. And kind of in like a peaceful, not happy, not sad, not upset, not crying, not angry, just kind of there, right? And I feel you returning to people in your life that maybe you came up with. Maybe you had like a whole different social group before you had a family, or you had this relationship, or you had to go like move home to take care of mom and dad, or, you know, whatever it is. I see you returning. Now, it's not going backwards. I don't think it's like, okay, now this didn't work, so I'm going back to my old life, right? No, I think that you are seeking out people who know you. Like, they really know you. They've seen you over the years and all the, you know, the different iterations of you. And this feels like there is it's like a covenant, right? That you come into this space where you can just open up. You can just be whatever you are. And nobody's going to say like, oh my gosh, get out of here, you're terrible. No. These are people that have known you forever. These are people that love you. Even if you have been MIA for the last 10 years, you know? But I see you finding these moments of just peace. Peace, ease, being able to just breathe. To let your hair down. You don't have to like, you know, do any of the talking yourself up or small talk or making sure that you're being very careful. You don't want to say something wrong or messy or upsetting. You know, we all have places in our life where, yeah, we definitely wear our masks. And we definitely try to abide the temperature of what's happening. And sometimes that could really kind of cut us off from what we feel is our authentic self. Now, I have this issue quite often, honestly. I don't talk about a lot of things that I'm interested in, or, you know, even my work and stuff. Because of the area I live in. And not that people aren't open-minded, they might be, and I might just be reading the room wrong. But I don't know how to always open myself up and just kind of reveal, right? Just put it all out there. Now, I don't hide these facts, right? I don't hide these parts of myself necessarily. But yes, sometimes we do. We reserve these things. And if you have to do that a lot, especially within a relationship, a marriage, if you're living with somebody, a roommate, family, your kids, whatever it is, how tiring that must be. How soul-sucking that must be. And so to finally get out of that environment, to finally shift the dynamics so you don't have to do this anymore. And you return to people who know you, who care for you, who have space for you. And for you to be able to start to build and reconstruct your idea of who you are, to get back in touch with that authentic part of self. I see that, and I feel like this is going to be the year for you to return to you. This is the year that you start to do that shedding of old coping mechanisms, conditioning, the personas that you have had to create to survive in your workspace or your home or within your family or your community or whatever it is. And I feel like this is going to be maybe the most powerful period of your life thus far. Okay? Because you are. You are showing up for yourself in a way that maybe you never have before. Or maybe you have, and like I said, you got kind of, distracted. You went off course. You had this adventure, this little aside. And maybe that took you, months, or maybe it was years, decades. Whatever it is, I see you coming back to center. I see you getting back on that journey, that path that you had initially intended. Okay? Now, we have, I'm going to look at this like this. TT's really going to town today. She's like, come on. Now we have F. You can see right here. F-L-O-W. Flow. Could be an S as well at the end. Flows. I'm sorry about the cat. She is fine. I'm in my own little office. She hears my voice and she comes running. There are other people in the house that are paying attention to her, but they're my cats, so they hear me and they go wild sometimes. She'll be fine, so don't worry. She's all good. She's just very bossy, this girl. So we also have the number. It looks like 012, like in this little pyramid. Okay. Flows. I like that. Flow. Just go with the flow, right? Easier said than done sometimes. Okay, let's see. So I'm seeing we have two people. We have one right here. You can see with the head back, hair flowing, arm out, like they're holding something, and their leg kind of keeping them steady. Now below we have another person who has their head kind of raised this way. And I'm imagining it's almost like holding buckets with rain coming down, trying to capture the rain. And I feel like this is so much about always trying to contain your emotions. You're always like, I just get this impression that you, like if you're gonna start crying, if it's for like a good reason, like something happened and it made you very emotional, or if it's for something that you perceive to be kind of silly, you're watching a commercial and you start crying and it's, it's real sentimental and all that. But it doesn't matter what it is or what it has to do with. I feel like you do not want people to see you crying. You just don't want anybody watching you crying. Even your family. I could see like you trying to play it off, or you go in the other room, or, oh, I got something in my eye. And it's not that you're an unemotional person. I think you're very emotional. But there's just something about, probably, I imagine anyways, the way you grew up or the era you grew up in, that you're letting your emotions flow out, letting people see how you feel, if it's something that's uncomfortable or tragic or sad or whatever, being taught that those are bad manners. You don't do that. You don't cry in front of people. You don't complain in front of people. You don't grieve in front of people. Those things should be done in private, behind closed doors. I mean, should they though? So I feel like you spent so much of your time throughout your whole life. Trying to compose yourself. Trying to just, white knuckling it. Trying to hold it together. You don't want to see, or you don't want to show anybody. You don't want anybody to see that there's even one hair out of place. Like, everything's fine. Everything's good. Everything's great. And yet, you need somebody. You need to talk about it. You need to, sometimes we just need somebody to realize, are you okay? You know? I see you. I see you upset here. Sometimes that's enough. Just for somebody to even notice us. And notice how we're feeling. So I feel like a big part of this work as well, as you kind of come out of this really oppressive situation, and that's what it feels like, emotionally, psychically oppressive. I feel like a lot of these pent up emotions, feelings are going to start flowing. Now, I'm not saying just completely succumb to that. Although if that's what works for you, then yeah. But don't, and this is easier said than done, but don't be ashamed to cry, to emote. Right? We have to be thoughtful and mindful of other people, of course. If we're going from that sadness to that rage, we're not going to take that out on other people, right? But if you're sitting in, the lunchroom at work and you start to cry a little bit, don't be ashamed of that. Don't worry what other people think. Don't feel like a burden, because you're not. It's so much worse to continue to just shove that stuff down. It becomes its own little monster inside of you. And so I feel like, aside from having the courage to reveal, I'm sad, I'm upset, I'm worried, I'm, anxious, whatever it is. Beside all of that, I think it's really important to consider what methods can you use to help you kind of release some of these things. Now, I don't love to cry. Sometimes I do. Sometimes crying is just yes. I cry almost every day. I think it's because I have CPTSD, among other stuff going on with me. I have ADHD, and I'm hypersensitive to stuff. I just really am. I'm a very sensitive person. And, around certain people, I do feel, not ashamed, but I feel a little, I don't necessarily want to be ugly sobbing, in front of these people. But I also realize for myself anyways, if I let that feeling just sit in my chest, it's just going to turn into something so much worse. And so if I cry a little bit while I'm standing in line at the grocery store and, people see me and they try to ignore it or whatever, cool. That's fine. I didn't ruin anybody's day, And so I think that, finding stuff. But for me, yes, just crying. That's a big one. Also watching certain kinds of movies or listening to music. If it's something that has to do with anger or rage or whatever, I always love to bring up doing something like demo, go cut some wood, go, clean up the yard. Here's my big one too, breaking down boxes, right? Like those Amazon boxes. I know we all have a few of them around the house somewhere, right? And I like to just let them build up. So I'll go out there and just go to town taking those things apart. So, whatever it is, lean into those practices, okay? Find something that, it doesn't have to be productive, but something that feels safe, something that you feel comfortable doing, something that does. It helps you have the space to kind of let out some steam, let out some of the stuff that is just, dwelling in there. And I promise you, it will feel a little bit better. I'm not saying it's the cure-all. I'm not saying it's going to be the thing that, magically makes life 100% better, but it will help, okay? So that's what I'm seeing there. Now, we're going to go look at our lucky numbers. We're going to do 3 of them. So let's see. All right, number 96. 96, 71, 3. All right, 96, 71, and 3. And then we will finish with our self-care affirmation cards. And I'm just going to go ahead and flip through here. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Okay, and it says, life song. My life is a song in harmony. I take time to care for myself, to work, and to connect with others. Together, the notes of my life are in beautiful harmony. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love these cards. They actually are really helpful for me. Like every day that I'm doing my readings, I'm like, I need all of the advice. I need the little reminders. Okay, Pisces, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. Also, if you want to leave a comment, definitely do that. I would love to hear from you. I read all of the comments, so I will see it. Okay, other than that, I'm just going to say again, I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.